What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we are at Cedar Rapids, Eastern Iowa Airport for the 4th airport update for the month of November 2024. We've got another full airport update here, a lot of aircraft on the ground, a lot of movements happening. Covered most of these movements in the last update for October, and I'm recording this pretty close, or not long after I recorded the last one, and I'll explain why towards the end of the video. And yes, we will address the elephant in the room there on the left. We'll talk about that towards the end of the video. Pretty big news. I've hinted at it before, and really excited to finally have an update on it, so happy to have that represented here. So go ahead and get started in this update. All the way over here at gate number 1, a viewer suggested that I place the American A321 from Charlotte in this update, which here it is right here at gate 1. And this aircraft arrived in at 10:30 p.m., delayed from a 10:27 p.m. scheduled arrival. So good to see the Charlotte service going on strong here in eastern Iowa. Hopefully it will stay that way as we move through the winter. Next to that, at gate 2, we have this American Eagle Embraer 175. This aircraft came in from Chicago O'Hare as Flight 3585, operated by Envoy Air, at 11:03 a.m., delayed from a 10:54 a.m. scheduled arrival. So we are delayed by about 9 minutes. I mentioned there would be no Air Wisconsin CRJ-200s here in the eastern Iowa area for November. So there is one of those changes. And then move on over to another mainline aircraft. We've got the A319 with the CFM engines. As always, I suggest that someone please release the IAE variant, because that has not been done in 400 scale before, surprisingly, even though they've been around for so long. This aircraft arrived in from DFW as Flight 2394 at 8:50 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 8:58 p.m. arrival, the first LUS A319. And then right next to that, we move into our United section. 3 United aircraft in this update, yes, 2 mainline, 1 regional. We've got a United 737-700 parked here. Nice to see this type here. This also came in from O'Hare as Flight 2296, arriving in significantly delayed, arriving in at 12:35 a.m., delayed from a 9:31 p.m. scheduled arrival. All the flights in this airport update are from Wednesday, October 30th, with this one, of course, arriving in on into the overnight hours of Halloween, which is when I'm recording this. Next to that, at gate 6, we have a Delta Connection CRJ 900, and this came in from Minneapolis. This Flight 5290, operated by Endeavor Air, at 10:47 p.m., ahead of a scheduled 10:49 p.m. arrival. So we're kind of flipping here with the Delta aircraft parking on this side. As with the last update, we had a mainline aircraft parked right here at this gate, another 319. This is a United Airlines A319 on a regularly scheduled flight, and this came in from Denver as Flight 2638 at 8:56 p.m., delayed from an 8:51 p.m. scheduled arrival. Got a lot of flights in that evening, the very late evening hours, as part of that big rush that they have, as is the case with most other airports. Swinging the camera on over to our lone Delta aircraft on this side of the terminal, and the only Delta mainline that we have here. We're back to the 737-800 from Atlanta. Again, still not sure what that whole E319 from Minneapolis was in the last update. Again, I think it's a repo flight, or was a repo flight. Haven't really seen much else on that, so can only assume that was a one-off. This arrived in at 10:10 p.m., delay from a 9:05 p.m. scheduled arrival, so we're looking at another hour or so delay. And then next to that, we have a little CRJ-200 for United Express wearing the older Unicon livery. This arrived in from Chicago O'Hare as Flight 5500, operated by Sky West at 10:52 a.m., delayed from a 10:40 a.m. scheduled arrival, delayed by 12 minutes. And that's all the aircraft we have here in this update. And now I'll talk about this section right here, which I know it's just a bunch of these little car blocks that I have, which I always use for my terminals. I always use them because it's easy for me to access. I have a whole bunch of these, and they look pretty close to maybe what an actual terminal size would be. It's not, of course, accurate with the shape, but it is very cost-effective for my personal use, so that's why I do use them pretty often. So Google Earth Pro recently got some updated satellite imagery, and there was a edition featured. They finally got the edition, the expansion here featured on the satellite imagery, so I finally put this into the update. This will add around 4 to 5 gates or so. They don't have it fully opened up yet, at least based on that latest satellite imagery. There's still some work being done on the ramp, so there's no gate markings or anything. This is why that section is empty, but there were around 4 jet bridges or so in that area. I'll pop up that satellite imagery so you can see what that's all about. But it's looking really nice, and very happy to see this expansion project going on very well for Eastern Iowa. And back last week from when I'm recording this, actually, a little over a week ago now, Eastern Iowa Airport, they just got a $3.6 million federal grant for a new baggage handling control system, so that's awesome. It was announced on the 22nd, and then the news posted the very next day. So still part of the whole project that's going on right now. And the construction for this project is going to begin in late summer of next year, so around August of 2025. So it will be a while before we see that project going to work, but this expansion project certainly very close to completion. Around spring is when this is going to be done, so we'll be certainly doing an exciting update on that when that fully opens and when I get word of it officially opening. So that is everything that I have for Cedar Rapids this month, and so as we conclude this update, I do want to talk about just some other details here. So of course the flights are still within the October timeframe, so not exactly matching up with the November timeframe. And the reason why is because I am pre-recording this. Wouldn't usually do that nowadays because I have been able to make the schedule work to where I put these updates later in the month, but I decided to get this one out a little earlier than planned because I figured it'd be just a nice segue into what's going to be coming up here on the channel as we move through the rest of 2024. There will be an announcement video out tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. It will explain what you can expect for the channel. It's going to be big, it's going to be extravagant, it's going to be very fun. So I'm excited to share all the details with you once that all comes to fruition. We've got everything all set. Now it's just time for me to embark on what I'm going to be doing, and that will provide some fresh new content for the next couple of months and a good way to round out 2024, which has been a pretty fantastic year, from the likes of all the new model content that's been on the channel to the airliners content and everything else that's been going on this year. With that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.